Okay, now, a complex number whose real part is 0 is called pure imaginary. That is a complex number whose real part is what? 0. It is called pure imaginary. So, and a complex number whose imaginary part is 0, it is called a real number. For example, we have, so number 1, we have z equal to 2i. So our z equal to 2i. So is this one pure imaginary or it is real? So what is this? Is this pure imaginary or it is real? So we have seen that a complex number whose real part is 0, we call it pure imaginary. So now look here. Do you have a real part here? Our real part here is 0. Because now this z is 0 plus 2i. So do you see our real part is what? 0. So since our real part is 0, this complex number is pure imaginary. So now this is pure imaginary. I hope you're getting this one. It is pure imaginary because our real part is 0. So number 2, we have z equal to 3. So this is a complex number. Z equal to 3. So is it a pure imaginary or a real? So it is a real number because its imaginary is 0. Here z is 3 plus 0i. So which means that our imaginary part is 0. Since our imaginary part is 0, this is real number. So a complex number is a real number when its imaginary part is 0. A complex number is pure imaginary number when its real part is 0. A complex number is pure imaginary when its real part is 0. I hope you're getting that one. So now, from there, we can have other examples, like number 3. We have z equal to negative 2i. This is also pure imaginary because its real part is 0. This is like z equal to 0 minus 2i. So our real part is 0. So this is pure imaginary. That's it. So like number 4, we have z equal to 1. Our z equal to 1. So what is this? This is a real number because its imaginary part is 0. So this is z equal to 1 plus 0i. Since the imaginary part is 0, this is real number. Okay, from there, let's go to definition and the properties of I. We're going to see definition and the properties of I. Yeah, let me start with I power 0. So what is I power 0? I hope you remember that any number power 0 equal to 1. So I power 0 is 1. So I'm going to add 4. I power 4. So what will be I power 4? Remember, I squared equal to negative 1. So this is like I power 2 times I power 2. So what is I power 2? It is negative 1 into bracket negative 1. The answer is 1, which means that I power 4 is 1. So let me add 4 to this 4. I have I power 8. So what will be the answer? The answer also will be 1 because this is like I power 4 into bracket power 2. So which is I power 4 is 1, which is 1 power 2. The answer is 1. So which means that when we are adding 4, the answer it will be 1. So meaning that we have I power 0 equal to 1, I power 4 equal to 1, even I power 8 equal to 1. So when you add 4 here, to be I power 12 also is 1, I power 16 also is 1. So finally, what is this? The formula is I power 4k plus 0, which is equal to 1. So when you have I power 4k plus 0, this is the same as I power 0, which is 1. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this to create the formula that can help me to solve like I power, for example, like to solve evaluate I power 2000. How can I evaluate this one? I'm going to use this formula. So if I would divide this one by 4 and the remainder will be 0, the answer will be 1. So I'm going to just take I power 2000. The answer is I will just take 2000 divided by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 0. So also I put this 0. You see that it will be 500, remainder is 0. So which means that I power 2000 is the same as I power 4 into bracket 500 plus 0 because the remainder is 0. So which is the same as I power 0? The answer is 1. So now I power 2000, the answer is 1. I hope you are getting this one. Can I try another one? So let me try another one and so that you can understand it very well. Let me try I power 120. So now, what is the answer of this? Just take 120, divide by 4. So I have to put here 3. 3 times 4, 12. I put there 0, 0. The remainder is 0. This is the remainder. So which means that I power 120 is the same as I power 4 into bracket 30 plus the remainder, which is 0. So which is the same as I power 0. And I power 0 is 1. So therefore, I power 120 is the same as 1. I hope you are getting this one. So let us try another example. Okay, then now, let us try to see if the remainder is not 0. For example, if the remainder is 1, what is I power 1? I power 1 is I. Then now, let's add 4. I power 5. It is I. How? I power 5 is I because I power 5 is the same as I power 4 times I. So what is I power 4? We have seen that I power 4 is 1. So this is 1 into bracket I, which is I. Then now, we add 4 here. I power 9, that is I. We also add 4 here. I power 13, also it is I. Then finally, it is I power 4k plus 1, which is the same as I power 1, which is I. For example, I power 2001. Evaluate I power 2001. What am I going to do here? I'm just going to take 2001 divided by 4. The remainder, it will be the power of I. So which will show me the answer. So then I power 2001. I'm going to take 2001. I divide by 4. So now I have to put here 5. 5 times 4, this is 20. So 0, 20 minus 20 is 0. I put here 0. 0. I also put here 0. 0. 1 minus 0, it is 1. This is the remainder. Our remainder is 1. This is our remainder. So if remainder is 1, so it means that I power 2001 is the same as I power 4 into bracket 500 plus 1, because 1 is the remainder. So now this is the same as I power 1, and I power 1 is 1. I mean is I. I power 1, it is I. So which means that I power 2001, the answer is I. So this is the answer. So you are not allowed to use calculator when you are taking 2001 divided by 4. Because when you use calculator, you have to get decimal. It's better to use long division so that you can get remainder. Another example, I power 121. So let me take this one as B. Evaluate I power 121. So just I'm going to get 121 divided by 4. So I put here 3. 3 times 4, that's 12. 0. I put here 0. 0. The remainder is 1. The remainder there is 1. So now from there, so we have I power 121 as I power 4 into bracket 30 plus remainder plus 1. So which is the same as I power 1 and which is I. So simply means that I power 121 equal to I. So this is the answer. So you just take the power you have, you divide by 4, the remainder gives you the answer. So now you can ask, what if the power is not 1? Or what if power is not 0? So which means that, for example, if power is like 2, what will be I power 2? You remember from the beginning, we have seen that I power 2 is negative 1. So what will be I power? We add 4, that's I power 6. Also it is negative 1. So how I power 6 is negative 1? For example, I power 6 is the same as I power 4 times I power 2. I think you remember that I power 4 is 1. So if I power 4 is 1, so this is 1 into bracket. What is I squared? Do you remember that I squared is negative 1? Yes, I squared is negative 1. So 1 times negative 1, the answer is negative 1. So meaning that I power 6 is negative 1, which is true. Then we're going to add 4 here. That's I power 10. I power 10 is also negative 1. We add 4 here. I power 14. Also, the answer is negative 1. So example. Before I give you example, let me show you the formula. So here it will be I power 4k plus 2. What does it mean? It means that here the remainder is going to be what? 2. So this is the same as I power 2, which is negative 1. So the formula is when you have I power 4k plus 2, where this k is a real number, I power 4k plus 2, it is the same as I power 2, which is negative 1. Example. Evaluate I power 123. I power 122, sorry, not 23. I power 122. So how can I evaluate this one? Okay, so just is to take 122, divide by 4. So now, I just put 3, 12, this is 0. Then I put 0 here, 0 times 4, 0. You see the remainder is what? This is the remainder. The remainder is 2. So which means that I power 122 is the same as I power 4. So now our k is 30. Plus the remainder. So the answer here is the same as I power 2 because our remainder is 2. So remember I power 2 is negative 1. So which means that I power 122 is the same as negative 1. This is the answer. So B. So what is I power 2006? How can you evaluate this one? It is just very easy. What you do, you just take 2006, you divide by 4. The remainder will give you an answer. I just take 2006, I divide by 4. I have to put here 5. 5 times 4, that's 20. Minus, that is 0. I put here 0, 0. I put here 0 as 1. Yeah. 1 times 4, that's 4. The remainder is 2. The remainder is 2. So which means that I power 2006 is the same as I power 4 into bracket 501 plus the remainder. Our remainder is 2. So which is the same as I power 2. So what is the value of I power 2? The value of I power 2 is negative 1. So now I power 2006 is negative 1. I hope now it is very easy to understand. Okay, so now the question can come, you can ask that. So when the power is not 0, and when the power is not 1, and the power is not 3, I mean 2. So when the power is 3, what can happen? So if you have like I power 3, what is the answer? I power 3 is the same as I power 2 times I power 1. So what is I power 2? That is negative 1 into bracket I power 1 is I. So what is negative 1 times I? The answer is negative I. So it means that I power 3 is the same as negative I. So this is I power negative 3. So can I add 4 here? I power 7. So is answer also is negative I. I power 11. Also it will be negative I I power 15 also to be negative I. How? For example, let me take like I power 11. So I power 11, how is it negative I? This is like I, this is like I power 10 times I. And if you remember, we have I power 10. It's here. I power 10 is negative 1. So which means that this is negative 1 into bracket I. So the answer is negative I, which means that I power 11 is negative I, which one that we have here. So we add 4 here. That is I power 19. Also it is negative I. So now the general formula is I power 4k plus 3. If the remainder is 3, the answer is the same as I power that remainder. I power that remainder. If it is I power 4k plus 3, it is the same as I power 3, which is the remainder. So now, remember, if it is I power 3, the answer is negative I. So which is negative I. So this is the formula. This is the general formula. So just I'm going to give you examples.